very glittery. So a wee bracket has been made. Small bracket. I think I've just noticed a wee oil leak from my turbo actually. What's going down, troops? Another day in the workshop. Nothing's changed since last time. I've still got a list of things I need to do. It's Friday, I'm going drifting on Sunday. And yeah, there's a list of things I need to do. I fitted a sticker. It's not bad. I mean, it didn't partook that long, but yeah. I need to fit an alternator belt because it is missing due to the wastegate eating the old one. I can show you that. Yeah. So I've got two new ones here because my mate ordered me them and he got me an aircon belt just in case I was, don't know, skidding in pleasure or something like that. Yeah, so I think I'm going to chuck that on first so I can actually make sure I've got the right one. And then the plan for today, tonight, this now, is to fit a new seat or at least move mine forward. So I need to either raise this seat up or, don't know, do something with it. I need to raise it up because it's too low, I can't see over my bonnet. I could do with moving it forward, but I've just noticed I thought it was going to be easier than what it was, but these are fixed holes, so yeah, I'm going to have to take this seat out. Now that would be easy if I hadn't, in my infinite wisdom, decided that I would bolt the handbrake onto it. Let me get a light. Yeah, I thought I would weld a plate onto the seat for the handbrake mount, which in hindsight now, because I've got to change it, it's a bit of a pain. So yeah, I'm just gonna unbolt the handbrake and then move the seat forward. We'll take the seat out and then I can move it slightly forward. I can get a look at fitting the new seat, which is over here. You've probably seen it in the background of other videos. It does fit me slightly better than that one does, but just to make sure, I'm actually gonna drag this out like a horrible person and sit on it and try it and see. Maybe not. Ah, there's a bit of rubber on the floor, that'll be fine. Whoops, come on. Yeah. Yeah. Aye, that's definitely nicer. It fits me a bit better. So, yeah, I think we'll put this one in because it's a bit narrower, although like, you don't really feel like your arse is in it. So, I don't know, let's do a back to back. Come on, up you get. Yeah. Sit there. Thank you. Let's sit in this one and see what this one feels like. I do really like my Tourer seat. I've had it in every drift car I've had. It was the first bucket seat I ever bought. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll unbolt the handbrake and we'll take the seat out, set it on the floor and then see what's happening. I do have the fire going as well. I'm not going to pull the lid off. Sets a fire. Imagine orange flames. So in the probably 4 years, how long have I had this car? 5 years? 4 years that I've had this seat in. I mean, younger me was probably stronger than not so young me, although I'm only 26. So I obviously thought it was a good idea to put the bolt in with like a 3/8 gun. I was had to use a 1/2 inch bar to get that back left one out. It's just ridiculous. I don't even know what I was thinking. But yeah, and then I've got the handbrake just kind of, see, it's not crossed, you can't see, it's not cross-threaded. It's just ridiculously tight. I wonder if that goes through to the floor and it was a bit rusty. I just got the handbrake sitting over like that just now, just to get it out of the way, and then I'll lie it back down once we get this out, and I'll get a look and see. Although, thinking about it, I've only got 2 cutting discs, so if I've got to do some modifications to this, it will, it might not go to plan. My dad has probably got some cutting discs, but yeah, I'm not really wanting to go mental with this. I just want it, come on, get it out and have a look and see. Although I could really do with stealing my mum's Hoover. I'm sure she's left the spare Dyson in my dad's garage, which means I can sneak it down here tomorrow and hoover the inside of my car out, because it's filled with like farm, gravel, dirt, debris, tyres, grinding stuff. everything, absolutely everything. But let's get this seat out. One seat removed. Obviously at the time I thought that pink was dead cool. I still think it is, to be honest. I'm saying it's dead cool. It is dead cool. What am I talking about? You can see my wee handbrake bracket here. It could definitely do with coming up and coming forward, so yeah, but I don't know now. I'm just, don't know, I feel like I'm getting carried away with something that was probably should have taken 2 minutes, but now it's going to take more than 2 minutes. But I'm going to unbolt this seat and then I will get back to you. And just because it's quite funny, and I made this years ago, like, no, I don't think I drilled all of these holes. Maybe I did. The random bits of metal welded in, like, just, it's quite funny to look at some of the things you've made in the past, and then now that you've maybe gained a bit of knowledge, go, yeah, I probably wouldn't have made it like that. It's quite funny. This is covered in brake fluid because of the bleeding, and that's gone all rusty because potentially brake fluid. Yeah, let's, I don't know. The only thing is I can't move the seat forward easily because I've decided to use the middle holes, but I suppose I can move it forward one and then I just have to drill another hole. But I'm going to try the seat on this first and just see how it fits, because I did have the seat in the highest hole, which means that, oh no, I had it in the second highest hole, which means I can move it up one. That's good. But I'm going to try this other seat because it looks like the bolts for that are a lot lower on the seat, which would lift it higher up. So let's put the seat on and then see what's happening. So I've got it on the mounts. I've got it on 2 bolts on the mounts, but I've got it on all the Allen keys for the side ones. Yeah, I quite like it. I think I'm going to chuck it in and see what it's like. There is another reason why I really want to fit this. It's very glittery, which suits my car. So, you know, that's as good a reason as any. I do think it would be quite cool if I could paint the back of it red. I'm not sure on painting fiberglass or seats in general. It would be cool to paint it the same colour as the car. I think it would be quite smart. Equally, I don't want to wreck the seat by using the wrong paint or attempting to paint it and finding out that it didn't quite work, or softening it, making it not as structurally sound, blah blah blah. Only paid 70 quid for the seat, so it's not like it's a big deal, but equally I don't really like wasting things, and it's quite a cool seat. So yeah, let's drill a couple of holes and then chuck this back in the car and see what I think. Seat's in. It's even harder to get back out, which means it's a better fit. That's good. I almost still feel like it could come slightly further forward. My clutch's leg is a bit like of a stretch to get in, but nah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It needs to come over to the right. I feel like I'm driving an E36. My legs are like over there. My arm's like over here. It's all squint. But yeah, I'm gonna quickly take it back out again and move the seat over to like the door and then chuck it back in and just see how I feel. Seat in. Still not really fully happy with it, but it fits me better than the last one. And I've not got cutting discs, enough of them that I would want to start cutting this base apart. I only get half it done, but now I'm happy with that. My eye line is about there rather than before it was like there. I couldn't see anything. So now I'm happy with that. I think it's pretty good. The handbrake definitely needs to be forward here. It's like, it's a weird pull, you know, my elbows. I like this pull, I like that. It's a good pull, but aye, it needs to be further forward, but the whole handbrake needs to go further forward. I maybe get an L put in it. I don't know, we'll see. I'll do for now. Going skidding on Sunday. Seats don't matter, as long as you can sit in it and you can be buckled into it, which I can't. I'm not fussy about the rest. I'm going to put the alternator belt in next. Another day in Neil's office, although if you can hear in the background, which you probably can, TIG welding aluminium's got to be potentially the worst sound in terms of sounds for welding. Back in the workshop after an eventful day. I've had my handbrake welded, I've cleaned it up with a flapper, I'll show you that in a second. An absolute mission trying to get an alternator belt for the Volvo. I ordered a couple from Pentland, or say a friend of mine ordered a couple from Pentland on Friday. I brought them down here and they're both wrong. I went to Euro today with the reg and the size I needed for them to say they've got none. They didn't actually list a power steering belt, which is amazing. I didn't realise I had Bluetooth power steering, but apparently I do. Yeah, luckily I managed to find one in my workshop, because I've changed it before and I don't like chucking things away. Although last week when I had my heater on, I do remember burning loads of stuff, so I'm very surprised that I actually kept it, because I probably would have launched it had I seen it last week. But I'm happy enough, stars have aligned. Handbrake looks a bit funny, but it'll work. I've cleaned up the welds a wee bit, just gonna paint it black. Yeah, I'm gonna crack on with that, and then I'm gonna tighten the alternator belt. I'll tell you, it shouldn't take long for the paint to dry with the heater being on actually. I was gonna use, I didn't even realise, I got this from Pentland, Autoglim. Autoglim do paint now, which, don't know, I was gonna try it, but I've got a can of Halford's black open already, so I figured I'll just use what's open rather than opening another can. But you'd expect the Autoglim paint to be pretty good, considering all their cleaning products are mediocre. Nah, I don't know, we'll see. Just in case you haven't seen on my Instagram, my wee beach Daz, I've had these stickers for ages and ages. But I was quite impressed that they actually stuck, to be honest, because honestly I reckon I've had that beach Daz one for 8 years, 6 years, something like that. But we'll get this alternator belt on. Tight. The problem, and I've obviously got this loose, is that this eventually walks itself over and it starts cooking the alternator belt. So what I think I'm going to do, and you can see it's cooked a wee bit of the, I'll move my head away, maybe bring the light over a wee scratch. It's cooked a wee bit of the shroud for the radiator as well. I think what I'm going to do is, if I can get this to sit where it's supposed to, probably in the middle, and then I did get my little exhaust bracket and put, oh come on, put that on like there. I can use a wee bit of the thread with a bracket that bolts onto like here, so that it doesn't, it can't really move. But what I'll need to do is I'll probably need to pull the radiator up first, because I'm an absolute abomination with anything power tools, and if I try and drill through that and go, oh, I'll not hit the radiator, I will hit the radiator, and then we'll have even bigger problems. So I'm going to quickly take these two brackets off and then just pull the radiator up, or I don't know, do something to move it out the way, and we'll see how we're getting on with that. I can't get the radiator out. This hose is really tight. I can't be bothered dropping the water out it, because that's just effort. It's a Saturday afternoon and I've still got other things to do that isn't spending hours doing this. So I'm going to drill a hole through the first bit, because it's box section, and then just tap a bolt, tap a thread, put a bolt in it. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure that will be fine. But I've had to jack my car up because it's too low to get the drill under here. Here we go, one thread cut. For a M8 by 1.25, you should use a 6.75mm drill. I didn't have a 6.75, I had a 6.5. All that means is a bit harder to tap, but you get a really nice cut thread. Lovely. So next is to probably tighten up the exhaust clamp and then make a wee bracket that goes from here to here, which will stop this moving about. So a wee bracket has been made, small bracket, lovely, huge hole that side, M8 hole that side. The plan is I've put a wee sleeve on here, see that? And then this goes on like that, and that sits there. So the reason why I've left this so big with a sleeve is so the wastegate can move with heat if it wants to. I don't want to bolt a bracket on that's solid and then the wastegate the manifold cracks because the wastegate's solid and it can't move at least a wee bit. But even with the slight movement that has, you know, it's never going to touch the alternator belt or anything like that. It'll sit perfectly fine. I'm going to, just because this is only a few threads, I'm going to Loctite this bolt in, and then I'll put a washer behind this nut, so there's a big washer so the plate can't come off this way. And it is aluminium that's not very strong, so it means that even if my huge hole in sleeve isn't enough to let it move, then the aluminium will probably bend with it, because I'm not even going to bother painting it. The heat will kill any paint that goes on it anyway, so it's pointless. But yeah, I'm going to get that bolted on with some Loctite and probably put my handbrake in next. Exciting. Right, bracket on. Still got a wee bit of movement in it. Like my hand shaking as well as this. I've still got a wee bit of movement in it. Obviously, this does have a bit of movement in it because it's so long and it goes up to the manifold, which has got a pipe on it as well. So it should never be really solid. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it looks pretty good. I think I've just noticed a wee oil leak from my turbo actually. Get a look at that just now. I happened to notice, I'm going to move this light, that the drain for the turbo, you can see it's a wee bit wet. I have brake cleaned it, but the drain for the turbo was wet when I was walking past. A bit of a strange one. I thought I'll nip up the bolts. Well, one of them's tight, the other one won't go tight. So that's the bolt that came out it. And as you can see, the thread looks alright, which means that the turbo thread is not alright. I don't have another T3 flange, which means I can't take it off to fix it. I don't have a helicoil kit. I don't have time to go and get a helicoil kit. What I do have is another bolt, which is slightly longer with some Loctite on it. So I think that's probably going to have to be it. It is held on with one super tight. Not really ideal, to be honest. But yeah, we'll just have to work with what we've got. So the good news is that nipped up enough that I'm happy to use it. The bad news is that it's not fixed, so I'm going to have to take the turbo off, which is a bit shit because I've got that new one sitting there, which would be really nice to put back on. But I also plan on building this 16 valve sooner than what I anticipated. So yeah, just too much fucking about now, I think. Just get the original one back on it, fix it, put it back on, helicoil it, I don't know, do something with it. It's not bad to come off, to be honest. Well, it's only 4 bolts. And the oil return, I just leave the oil return on the turbo and take the whole lot off in one go. That's how I put it back on. So I'm not quite sure how that's got stripped, when it got stripped. It's a bit of a strange one, to be honest. Yeah, very strange. Dressed up like an Eskimo now because I sat in front of my heater for 45 minutes and now I'm freezing because it's ran out of heat and I'm not putting any more wood in it because I'm going to go home soon. But got the handbrake in a better place now, you know. So much better place, right next to the gear stick, away from the steering wheel and all that. So nah, I'm happy with that. It's cool, away from my leg and all that shiz. So yeah, exciting. I think I'll put a wee bit of oil in it, leave the battery charging overnight and pump up the tyres. And then yeah, I'm just going to come down early tomorrow. Come down early tomorrow and load everything up. Get all my wheels and tyres out. Stuff like that. Exciting. I've got a brand new set of remolds on the back, so I'll just take what I've got. I was going to fit some Pilot Sport 4s, but I'm not taking tyres off to put other tyres back on. It's just, I'm not that interested in trying out a different set of tyres. I did want to wash this, but it's now pitch dark outside, so that'll not be happening. We'll see. I think if I've got enough time tomorrow, I'll take it to the jet wash because it's absolutely howling, like just covered in mud, which is a shame, but hey ho. Yeah, I think I will do the nah, I'm not even going to bother. I say we're going to do the bumper next. I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to leave and go home, get some beer and drink it play some sim with my mate Andy and Dodge potentially, and a couple of others. And yeah, just do hee-haw and come back down tomorrow, make a bag of tools and go and have some fun. So enjoy this video, slightly different to what I've done in the past, but not really, you know, more car stuff as usual. We'll see how we get on tomorrow, and you'll have another skid video for next week. Cheers.